Hi everyone, welcome back to Caprine Cottage. My name is Anne and I'm joining you from my studio space in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. Today's video is going to be a podcast episode. I took an unplanned break for a month and I feel like this year has just been so inconsistent for me. There's been so much chaos, and I think I'll talk a little bit in the beginning here, but I've been sort of filming a few things like parallel. So I do talk about this in a vlog that's going to be upcoming, but I wanted to film this video for this week first because I have a lot of things to talk about and I don't want it to like snowball and get away from me. And yeah, I'll just touch on sort of like where I've been a little bit. It's just been busy. The summer is always super busy for us anyway. But then the sick animal saga continues. And I say this in my vlog too, but like I don't even really want to talk about it on here because I feel like at this point it just seems insane, or like I'm making this stuff up for like more attention or something, but I'm not, and it's crazy. But the quick rundown is that I have a pet steer that's a boy cow that's been castrated, and he's my pet. I don't intend to eat him or sell him. He's just like for me to love. And his name is Alfalfa, and we've had him. He was one of the first animals we got on her farm. We've had him for over 6 years now, or almost 6 years. Yeah, like I think we got him on September 9th, and it's September, I think 17th, 16th today. So I've had him for literally just 6 years. And yeah, he's been just feeling unwell. He's been consistently losing weight for about like, now it's been almost 2 months, but he started to really go downhill, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And he just was weak. He didn't want to eat. He just wasn't feeling well, and so we called the vet, of course, and she came and did like a full exam, took blood, took urine, took feces, everything to test him. I had already sent in fecal samples. He doesn't have internal parasites, so that's one thing ruled out. We're still waiting on a couple test results, but he has started to feel a little better. His appetite is back and his activity levels are back, so we're really hoping that all the tests continue to come back negative. Okay, so I'm just going to pause here for a minute because since I filmed this yesterday, we got honestly the worst news possible last night, and Alfalfa's tests came back and he has tested positive for Johne's disease, which is a terminal wasting disease in ruminants, and there is no cure. He is also shedding large amounts of the bacteria that could potentially contaminate and infect the other animals. So we are going to have to say goodbye to him very soon. And I just felt as though it was important for me to add this information here, but I will seem happy in the rest of this video because I didn't know what was coming. And I think that I will continue to post, like my next video will also include him, and maybe it can just be kind of a memorial to him because I am so grateful that I've got to have him in my life. So yeah, thank you for listening, and we'll get right back to the video now. But yeah, so it's just all over the place. It's just consistently been like this. I'm not going to go on too much because, like I said, I do have a vlog coming up that I talk about it more in depth. You're going to see things a little out of order from like when they're filmed because it's just part of filming things, you know, at the same time. You're not going to see them in exactly the correct chronological order. I think that's just as much as I'm going to say about that because at this point I'm bored, you're probably bored. It's the truth of the ups and downs of having pets, period, but also having large animals. But yeah, we'll just jump into the knitting. I have many knitting things to show you. I have a couple finished objects, lots of whips, lots of talk about plans. Well, not a ton of plans, a little bit. I have a whole stack of books to show you because while I haven't been filming and I have been knitting but not a ton, I'm really into reading right now. I feel like it's a really good escape for me. It's a way for me to relax and feel some amount of calm in my crazy life. So, but I'll save those till the end. So if people are not into that, you can just skip it at the end. But I would love if you stayed for the whole thing. So I'm just gonna start with finished objects and go sort of fast. So I think you've already seen these, but I don't think you've seen them both finished and blocked. Here they are. They are such a masterpiece. I don't say that like to toot my own horn and like, but I am really proud of these. They turn out so beautifully. They are the downstairs socks designed by Mary Jane Mucklestone and from the book Grand Shetland Adventure Knits. This is the first project I've made from this book. This is what the book looks like here. You guys have heard me talk about it a million times, and I'm excited to make more things out of this. But these are done and they're blocked. They fit, like I think I mentioned before that I was a little worried about them not fitting too good, and they are a little snug to go over my heel. But other than that, they're kind of perfect. So yeah, I can't keep this sock on. That's the other thing. I keep hoping for like a cooler day so that I can film a podcast while wearing knitwear, but it's still so stinking hot. Like it cooled down for about a week and then maybe 2 weeks, and now we're having highs in the 80s. I'm already like a warm person. I'm always too hot. I mean, obviously not in the winter, but if it's even slightly warm out, I'm too warm. And yeah, that's what's happening today. So no wool socks for me. But they're done and I'm really proud of them. And I think I mentioned it before, I highly, highly recommend this pattern. It looks super complicated. It's like the payoff is so worth it. And yes, these are made in J and S 2-ply jumper weight colors. They're the sample colors from the book. So if you have the book, there's sample colors. And if you're interested more, you can go on my Ravelry. Then the next finished object I have is the Muff. She's done. It's like a hard thing to show. I'll try it on in a second. But this was super fun. I feel like I got like stagnated in the middle of this project because I was really intimidated by the like joining part. It's been a while now since I finished this, so I'm not going to describe it well, but like you knit these little flappies and then you have to join them together and then you knit the top part. You do a little bit of seaming at the top here, but that part wasn't so bad. It ended up being really easy. I loved it. I think this is a great gift knit. I think this is just a great thing to have for the winter, and I definitely see myself making another one. But this one's done, and this is made with Wool Folk Flet and a silk mohair. So it's super fuzzy. And here, I'll try it on for you. So it's kind of like this, and then you can tie it like this for extra warmth so your neck is warm. Or I think it was in the, what do you call it? Like the sample pictures, I guess. I saw someone do kind of this kind of deal where you tie it and then you can have it like this, and you can have it like on top of your coat in the winter. And so then if you get cold, you can just put it up. And I think that's super cute. Yeah, and it's like a little bow. I think that if I made it again, I would make the bigger version. There's like a longer one, I think. So this is kind of short, which is fine because you could just go like this and then there's no tails and it's really warm. Again, way too warm for today. But I think it's a really versatile item and it's, I would say, pretty beginner friendly. The hardest thing I think was doing these little tips because the whole thing has an I-cord edge. Let's see. Let's see the little rounded ends. There's a special way how you do this, and even for me, I like don't really understand how it works. Like, I don't understand it, but there is a video that accompanies the pattern, and if you just do what she does, it works. I'm sure that someone who is more like a technical knitter would be able to understand why it works, but it allows to have that curved looking I-cord. And the pay, it looks great. But all the increases are super simple. They're yarn over increases. I'm not sure if you're able to see that. There's little like holy details. The boucle also covers a myriad of potential mistakes. But so that's done. Those are my finished objects for now. And then I guess I'll start with works in progress. I have 3. And there's actually another one. There's the lazy weekend socks, but I haven't touched those in months, so I'm not going to show them to you. But I'm trying to decide where to start. I guess I'll start with Burra, since you guys are probably really interested to hear what's going on with Burra. I am so terrified that I'm not going to finish Burra in time, and it is for I think it's through Sibling Energy Podcast or M to the Third. Mackenzie is somehow involved, but the bucket list cowl. This is definitely a bucket list item for me, and it's supposed to be done in time for Rhinebeck. I'm pretty sure it's when the cowl ends, but I'm so afraid I'm not going to finish it because I'm an overachiever. You'll find out in a minute why. But the body is done. So I have to now split to put in my armhole steeks. And I feel like you're not going to see so good because it's rolly. But, so the body is pretty much done. You can see it's of, I'm not going to be able to stand up, but it is of, there we go, like a good length to be for armholes now. And it still doesn't, like, it keeps rolling too, which makes it look like it's not as much knitting. But it still feels like it's only halfway done, and it scares me. But in the past, like when I made the lower low pullover, this is what happened with that sweater as well. And it's knit in, fingering weight Shetland yarn. The body part like this took so stinking long. And then once I got to like this part and the arms, it went really fast. So here's to praying that that's what happens. But yes, so this pattern, I mean, you guys have heard the saga. I've been working on this sweater for almost a year now. It's the Burra cardigan from this book, My Fair Isle Journey, designed by Yuko Sakamoto. And, sorry, excuse my messiness. I often will copy and print out the chart so I can mark it up without making the book a total mess. But yeah, so pray for me, send me all the good vibes, tell me how your Rhinebeck projects are going. I haven't touched this in a few weeks because of what I'm going to tell you about now. But it is beautiful. Like I said, the longer the time goes on, I feel better about my repair, my goat-related repair. And I still love this. Every time I look at it, I'm reminded that I love it. And I think that that's what's going to keep me going. I've already started dreaming my Rhinebeck outfits. So I don't know if that's something you guys think about, but it brings me so much joy. I love planning outfits. And something that I've really started to enjoy, I've only made 2, but Pinterest has a new app that's like part of Pinterest that's called Shuffles. I'm sure I'm so late to the party on this. I've seen other people making them, but it's like a collage making, mood board making app. And I have been making like outfit inspiration collages in there, and it's really fun and really satisfying. So if that's something you might like to do, I would check that out. I think it's a really good time. I'm a big Pinterest fan in the first place. I actually had never heard of it before I met Caleb, and he showed it to me because he loves to go on there to look for like building projects or building designs or, landscaping kind of things. And so he got me started on Pinterest 10 years ago, and yeah, now they have Shuffles, and it's a lot of fun, I think. It's dangerous though, because you can be like, I'm just gonna make a little collage, and then it's like 3 hours later. But anyway, on to my next work in progress, which I'm pretty psyched about. So it is the Peary Shop cardigan, again, from Grand Shetland Adventure Knits, designed by Mary Jane Mucklestone. This is the second pattern I'm making out of this book. I'm really excited about this. I'm making this as part of the Woolly Thistles annual sweater knit along. And on the subject of that, there is a midway point Zoom meeting on Friday. So the day you see this video, if you are watching this on time, you could come to the Zoom. It's at 7 p.m. I will put the information right here that says the date and the time. So if you're watching it later, you'll know that you missed it. But yeah, So I'm gonna show it to you now. I'm really excited. I am making this in Plotilopi, so I don't want to break my yarn. But here she is in all her glory. I'll show you the front bit. That it has steek stitches in the middle, so if it looks a little funky in the middle, that's why. But here she is. So I settled on these colors. I'm not sure. I think you guys saw the colors. I posted a video, I think, with this swatch in it after I had done, because I did another swatch with greens that I didn't like, but I settled on this. I feel like it's going to be the most perfect autumnal sweater. I'm so excited to just wear this all the time, like with leggings or over dresses and skirts. I think it's going to be perfect. I love that it's neutrals, but with a little pop of the rusty orange. I'm realizing in general that I need to make some basics. And I think that, you know, I said this year the theme was vests and cardigans. And I think, and dresses, I think I said too, but I haven't made a dress this year. I think next year is going to be back to basics. That's going to be like my knitting theme, because I'm realizing that I just need some like really simple, single color, neutral colored pieces in my life. I've made a lot of really fun stuff, which is super enjoyable, but I do need some kind of just things that go with more outfits. And I think this is going to be great because even though it has color work, it's kind of, you know, classic. And then at the bottom here, I just did this. It has like a little wave. And I did this different than Mary Jane's is. Hers has color blocked ribbings, and I think it's 5 accent colors in the sample, and mine has 4. I don't know, I can't remember. I did change it up a little bit. The color blocking ribbing is just not for me. But I am now onto the bottom band ribbing. I think I've done 1 row of that. I wanted to finish it the other night and it was super late, so I made myself stop. And then last night, that was 2 nights ago, last night I just was so exhausted by the time it was knitting time that I just fell asleep. But so I'm definitely going to finish the body today, probably later. And then it will be sleeve time. And this is just going so fast. Every time I make something that isn't fingering weight, I'm like, oh, this is how people make so many garments in a year. That has been satisfying, at least, is just, at least I'm going to have this done for Rhinebeck. And I think I will end up wearing my Audrey Nunn's vest. I think I'll wear that. Well, depending on how warm it is, because if it's warm out like last year, I'm worried that this is going to be too hot. We'll see. At least it's a cardigan. I'm happy that both things are cardigans. Even the Audrey Nunn's vest has buttons. I'll probably wear that to, it's over there. That's why I'm pointing over there. I'll wear that to India Untangled on Friday is my guess. But then I can't decide which one of these gets worn for Saturday and which one gets worn for Sunday. I feel like this will be more the Sunday vibe. Anyway, rambling. I'm pleased with how quickly this works up. This is a fun project too if you are looking for like a fun, somewhat beginner-ish friendly garment. It's very simple color work. There are a couple rows where you hold 3 colors now that I think about it though. But it's not too hard. It's pretty simple because it's geometric and everything. But it's so fuzzy and it's so soft and it smells so good. I love how Plotilopi smells. I just love working with it. I'm happy because I had really taken a step back from the Icelandic wools this year, and I am happy to have one project that I'm working on with that. If you are interested, like I said, in joining the Zoom, there's still time to join that Cal. I think that you would be able to finish your sweater in time. And yeah, if you're looking to make this, you can always use my affiliate link. It's going to be in the description below for the Woolly Thistle. That adds no extra cost to you, but I earn a small commission, so that really helps me out. If you're interested in making the projects I make, most of my yarn comes from them, and they have a great selection of woolly wools. So I have a couple other things to show you. I think this is my last, yes, this is my last actual work in progress, and the other one is something I want to cast on soon. But this is my final Tara shawl by Gudrun Johnston. Tara, I think it's Tara. This is the sky version. I had mentioned that I wanted to do sea, earth, and sky. And so this is the final one. And I showed you guys some inspiration pictures and that I wanted it to be a rainbow, like a muted rainbow. And I figured out how I wanted to lay out my colors. And I haven't been working on this too much lately because I'm really grinding on my sweaters. But this is a nice thing to, you know, take somewhere with me. The lacework is simple enough that you don't, like, you can remember it, so you don't have to worry about getting too distracted. And it's also, I've learned, now this is the third one I've made, that it's pretty easy to correct if you make a mistake. You catch your mistakes, I guess is the best way to put it. But yeah, I love it. This is not really my normal kind of style, but I think it's so pretty, and I think that it will end up being a nice addition to my wardrobe. I also might gift one or two of these. I haven't decided yet. It just seems a little greedy to have 3 of the same scarf in my wardrobe. But yeah, I haven't decided yet if I want to gift them to anybody else or keep them all for myself and have my scarf dragon hoard. So that's that. And oh yeah, that is from Gudrun's book, The Shetland Trader, Volume 3. It is made using mostly J&S colors, J&S 2-ply jumper weight. But there is, I think, this is definitely a Jameson of Shetland Spindrift color. This is Buttermilk. And I think that's the only one that's not from Jameson and Smith. I could be wrong, but I'll make sure to eventually take up-close pictures so you can really see the beauty of all of the multi-dimensional colors. That's actually a good topic for me to talk about, which is that I am super behind. Well, I'm behind on everything. Who are we kidding? But I'm really behind on finished objects pictures. So you will see some of those coming soon-ish. Like, I haven't photographed the Audrey and Unch vest. I haven't photographed the downstairs socks or the mof. Yeah, I'm behind on a lot of things. I feel like the summer is like that anyway, and then this year's just been crazy. The vlog is going to be of sort of like a homey farm vlog. Caleb went away for the weekend last weekend, and I filmed a couple days when I was by myself so you guys could get a feel of like what my life is like. But also in those days he was gone, I really had like a staycation, and it allowed me to like really center myself and reset. And I said this last time too, but I feel kind of like in a better space to be filming more consistently. I have come up with like some video plans and I feel more inspired. I feel like I've been really struggling to find the inspiration to make things, to film, but I'm feeling more in it. I hope. I hope this will be the final time of me kind of drifting away a little bit, because I do love it. I love making these videos. I love talking to you guys. As usual, I know I'm behind on comments, but just know, even if I haven't responded to your comment, I did read it. I just haven't gotten back to you yet. So I'm sorry, or instead of apologizing, have gratitude. So I'm grateful for your patience in me getting back to you. So that's one thing. But also I hope you look forward to the vlog. I think it's going to be fun. I just put the raw videos onto my computer before I filmed this, and there are so many clips. I don't know if the quality is going to be very good. I was by myself and in all kinds of different weird environments, like the barn, but hopefully it will be fun. So that'll be coming soon. But yeah, this is the final project I had to talk about. It's not started, but I decided I want to make another Sophie scarf. I've actually made 3 of them. I made one for myself and then 2 as gifts. And my mom has been making them. Like, I've been trying to get her back into knitting. She's the one that taught me how to knit as a child, but then she hasn't really done any knitting. Well, I don't know. It's been a while, I guess. She went through a little phase of doing some knitting, but she hasn't knitted from a pattern since I was a kid, easily. And so I'm trying to get her back into it. And so, of course, we started with the Sophie scarf because I feel like that's everybody's first project these days. And she's been having her ups and downs with it. She's finished a couple of them, but she's not like thrilled with any of them. We recently blocked her first one. maybe if she's feeling up to it because we're going to Rhinebeck together, my mom's going with me this year, so maybe when we're there, if she wears it, or maybe if we're filming when I'm there, maybe she'll be willing to show it to you guys. I don't know. She's a little nervous about it, but I decided I want to make another one, and I have no explanation why. I just feel like I want another one. I do like mine and wear it a lot, but it is bright red. It's that like classic bright red that I always wear, and I think I want a more, I want to say neutral, but I'll show you the color in a second. It's not neutral, but just like a little bit more toned down that could go with more things. I got a new jacket for fall, and it's kind of like a pale pink, and so the red is okay, but it has to be like a certain vibe that I want to wear pink and red together. Anyway, when I first started like not getting back into knitting, because I've always been knitting, but like getting into the social media aspect of knitting, one of the first people who was like I was following that was posting about knitting is a friend of mine, and she's like an old coworker of mine, and she was starting to post about her knitting, and that really inspired me to post about my knitting. And she made a soapy scarf, and it was like pale green or like medium green. And so ever since then, I want a green one really bad. So I thought about it, and I decided I have this green yarn that I love. This is Plotalope, of course, but it's the color Clover. And I keep telling you guys how much I love this color. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, why don't I make a soapy scarf out of that? I have this mohair from my Poppy and Spruce mohair. I had like 3 colors of it. They were supposed to be for cloud bow. Don't judge me. I'll probably use the scraps if I finally make that some summer. But I thought that these went together nice enough that it would be like a really pretty combo to make that kind of muted green color. And I told myself that if I finish the Peary Shop, I can cast that on as like a fun little treat. So that's how I'm keeping myself going, is with a little temptation to make a cute little accessory that will feed me the satisfaction of me finishing it quickly. Or, you know, it's gonna be something I can take with me. Because both the Peary Shop and Burra are not really portable projects at all. Of course, Peary Shop, that many colors of Plotalope is like way too much. I have it in this huge basket, look. It's just too much to wrangle. I mean, I drag it around the house, but I'm not gonna take it out of the house. And then again, with Burra, other large basket, there's just so many colors, it's too much to take. So I have the Tara if I wanna take something out, but also this would be so cute. So that's just my one knitting plan. I'm not really letting myself dream right now because I have to keep the little blinders on like a little horse. I don't want to get scared or distracted by anything around me. As I am apt to do. I was doing some like dream knitting. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday and the day before, because Mackenzie of M to the Third has been doing a little series on Instagram of like styling her knits for fall outfits, and one of the ones she did recently had the Un sweater. I'll put it here and I'll link it in the description so you can look at the pattern. And I instantly was like, oh, I want that. And I think it'd be a great basic, so that's kind of gonna be in my winter knitting plans, I guess. And then, like I said, I'm still working on logistics for a cowl. I think we're gonna do our first cowl on here, but that's not gonna start until, I decided it won't start until November. So I'll tell you more about that as that gets closer and after I solidify plans. Yeah, because I think it'll be fun, and I have the yarn for it. I just have to like, I don't know, I've never hosted anything like this, so I'll tell you more when I know more. I was hoping that I had done more by now, but I haven't, and I'm sorry about that. So I think that's all of the knitting I have to share today. I have done a little bit of sewing, but that all kind of, so many things did not go as planned this summer with like sewing and getting things done. I will eventually get to them, but I did also, I forgot, I should show you, I made this dress that I'm wearing. It's kind of like a tunic-y length, so I have it tied up with a pair of pants, but here, I'll get close. It is made from, back when we still had Joann's, it is made from their homespun collection, which they actually got rid of before they even went out of business, but I loved the homespun cotton fabrics. And this is a McCall's just big 3 pattern. It's kind of cute. I only wear it sometimes, I'm not like obsessed with this area, this like bust area. And sometimes when I lean down, it can be revealing, so I don't wear it all the time. But it is something that I made that I've definitely never shown on here because I made it before I started doing this. I think the sleeves are really cute on this. It's definitely my favorite part is the sleeves. But yes, so now we're going to move on to books. I have so many books to tell you about. So if that's not your cup of tea, feel free to move on. I appreciate you being here for the knitting, and if you're interested, stick around. I'm probably gonna go semi-quickly just because there are 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 books because 2 of them are Kindle. So I will go somewhat quickly. And I think I'm gonna start at the bottom because that's kind of the order I read them in. So the first one is this. This is What Doesn't Break by Cassandra Caw, but this is, it's a Critical Role book. And I loved this. If you're into D&D or gaming or Critical Role, I think you would love this. It is definitely trigger warning. There's like graphic, scary stuff for sure. It's a horror, like it's scary. And it's Laudna's backstory from Bell's Hells Campaign 3. And I did really enjoy this, though. I thought it was a really good book. All that aside, like, I definitely just picked it up because I wanted to read it because it existed and I, enjoy that show and that story. But I also think it was a great book. And I feel like if you weren't into it, but you like, spooky, scary stuff and, like, fantasy stuff, I think that you might still enjoy this. And then on the same note, I got the newest Critical Role book, which is Tusk Love, which this is so funny to me to even promote that, like talk about this on here because it's hilarious to me. It's also, I'm not a romance reader at all, so this is like not my vibe. And I would say that it's quite spicy, so if you like spicy romance and fantasy and that kind of stuff, you're gonna love this. It's cute, it's funny, it's sweet. I definitely got it because I just think it's amazing that they made like this made up book in their campaign and that it got made into a real book just like brings me so much joy. I feel like that's like every kid that ever played like pretend or makeup, like any of those like made up games or storytelling, anything, like, oh, there is a fly in here. But isn't that just your dream that like this made up thing you created is like real? And it was super cute, actually. I thought it was a sweet story, but yes, definitely romance, definitely spicy. Not normally my cup of tea, but it was cute and I liked it a lot. So if you like that kind of stuff, I think you would really enjoy it. The next thing is a series. It's 3 books. These are Cozy Mysteries, and it is a Witch's Cat mystery series by Delia James. And I read the first one a few months ago, and then I read the next 2 just recently. But this is super cute. It's really fun. They're witchy. They're mysteries. They're like very low stakes. The murders are not very scary. She has a cat. She's a witch. It's really cute. So if you want something just like fun and cozy, I highly recommend these. They're also, because they're the little paperbacks, they're super inexpensive. Like they retail for $8, but I think you can find them on thrift books for less. But they're cute. It was really sweet. I wouldn't say that it was like anything to make you like think hard, but they're sweet and I really enjoyed that. That's kind of been a whole topic of my reading in general, is that I feel like for so long I put so much pressure on myself to read for like intellectual growth or, to be moved by the art of reading and like from people's stories. And I'm not saying that I don't enjoy that, but I would always read like literary fiction and kind of more of that sort of thing. And then recently I had this realization that like you don't need to read to prove anything to anybody. Like it's supposed to be fun, and not that that isn't fun for me, but sometimes I just want to escape into like a silly fun story. And I think that that's really has a ton of value, but it's sort of like looked down on a little bit. I don't know, maybe that's just my perceived idea of it. I don't know. Let me know if that resonates with you. And I think also it is sort of like, I think it ties into the romance thing where I feel like romance as a genre is kind of like, oh, that's for women. That's not intellectual. Like again, like that same sort of, it's like the same with craft and, you know, especially fiber craft, and the way that that is also seen as not having as much value. But I also just think that it's important to have joy in your life, and all reading is good reading. I think that even if it's maybe not the most intellectual thing, you're still expanding your vocabulary, you're still using your imagination. It's a lot of fun. So if you are like me and you take yourself a little too seriously, or you're taking your reading too seriously, maybe just pick up a fun book and see if you like it, because it's been great for me. It's really allowed me to read more and have like less anxiety about reading, and you know, it takes that like performance away. The next book I have for you, I think, is gonna be my first, like 5-star book of this year, and it is new. It is this. It's A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. And I just started her first book also, which is A Very Secret Society for Regular Witches, maybe. That title is long. But I got this because it was like part of a buddy read for this month. And obviously the cover is so cute. It's pink and green, adorable. And this like blew me away. Like, exceeded all expectations. First of all, I couldn't find it in the bookstore and I had to ask someone to help me. And they actually were sold out, but I wouldn't have found it anyway, because the guy that helped me, he was really sweet. But he took me right to the romance section, and I was like, oh, well, that's why I was never going to find it, because I thought it was like fantasy or fiction or something. So it's in the romance section. If you go to Barnes & Noble, I end up having to order it. And then I got nervous because, like I said, I don't really read a lot of romance and things that are like spicy. It's not even like they don't offend me, or like I don't feel weird in that way, but it's hard for me to take it seriously sometimes. And sometimes I get bored. Like Outlander is such an example of that, where like it reaches a point where I'm just like, okay, I get it, guys. Like, can we get on with this? Another series that was like that was the Clan of the Cave Bear series, like by Jane Austen. In the like middle of that series, I was just like, okay, like enough with the spice. I get it. So yeah, I got nervous. I was like, oh no, maybe I'm not gonna like this book. But the guy that helped me, I asked him, I said, did you read it? And he said yes. And he said it's like a cozy romance, so there's not a lot of spice, and it's really cute, and I really liked it. So him saying that made me feel more inclined to read it, and I got it, and I read it in like 3 days. I loved it just so much, and I think it's a little weird that it's in the romance section, if I'm going to be completely honest. Maybe it's a marketing thing to sell more of them, because there is a romantic subplot, but it's definitely not the main plot of the story, and there's very little spice. It's very mild. But it's a really sweet story, and I like want to live in this story. I want to live in this world. I love it. It's just like, it's truly so magical. It's been a long time since I felt this way about a book. Like, there's something really relatable about it. I think it has great themes about life and moving on after like things are like, after you have like a big setback in your life. And you know, it's so, there's like so many little things about this book that I feel like it was written for me, which I know sounds bizarre, right? But there's goats involved in the story, which is hilarious. There is this theme of the phoenix, which is crazy because my little goat is Phoenix, and you know, obviously she has literally risen for the ashes, but I also love the idea like of the phoenix and like rising from one's own ashes, and you know, even when life gets really hard, like choosing to get up again and choosing to go on. It's also really funny. There's like so many funny things. The characters are hilarious, and it's such a like cast of misfits, which really feels like my life a lot of the time. Yeah, and you know, found family, people coming together that are not related but love each other, and are their bounds of friendship are like family, just everything. Yeah, I don't know, I highly recommend it. It's really sweet. And I hope that her next book is, I like it just as much. I read, I think, the first chapter this morning, and it seems good. I really like her writing style. It's very much, there's a casualness to it that makes you feel like a friend is telling you a story, but then also there's these moments of, you know, I am not like an annotator. Like, I'm not someone that highlights their books or underlines, and I highlighted things in this book because they were either so funny or meaningful. So I think that says a lot. But yeah, I don't know. It's just really sweet. Her writing style, yeah, it's like, it's casual and profound at the same time, which it catches you off guard both ways. Like the humor catches you off guard, the profound moments catch you off guard. Then I'm going to go on my Kindle so I remember the other books I've read. Because there's 2 that I only got on Kindle. I like to have some real books going and some Kindle books going because I like to read the Kindle at night. I also decorated my Kindle case for autumn. So I thought I'd show you guys that. It's cute. Oh, the first one, I don't even know if I want to tell you guys about this. I will, though. I talked about it a little bit before. The first book I finished was The Honey Witch by Sydney Shields, and that's a 1 star for me. I think other people will like it. The story was interesting, and on the surface it seemed like everything that I would like, but the writing style just was not for me. And the pacing was not for me. I've said that before, that I really enjoy a slow pace, and that pace was like so fast. It was a sprint. And it wasn't for me. It was too much. But if you liked it, I'm happy you liked it. It just required me to suspend my disbelief too much. But then the last one I have to share is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. And I know that this book was incredibly popular maybe 2 years ago, like around when it came out. I've never read any of his books. In general, like I said, I'm like often allergic to bestsellers, but recently I've been reading a lot of them and enjoying it like immensely. But this book always sounded super interesting to me because it's sort of a murder mystery. It's a thriller. It's set in Maine, which ding, 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 love Maine. It's set by the ocean. There's so many things, and I won't give anything away. Don't worry, no spoilers, but I loved this book. It was one of the best mystery thrillers I have read in a long time. It was crazy to me. I did not see the twists coming. None of it. I had no idea what was going to happen. I liked it so much that I went out and bought my mom a copy because I was like, you're going to love this. So yeah, I highly recommend that. I think that if you like mysteries and thrillers, you're going to love it. It's just a ride. It's such a ride. It really reminded me a lot of The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, which is one of my probably, I was going to say top 10 favorite books, but maybe more like, I don't know if it's in the top 10. It's definitely in the top 25. It's really hard for me to narrow that down. People will be like, what's your favorite book? And I'm like, as if you could pick something like that. It really had that sort of like, I don't know if you've read The Haunting of Hill House, maybe you agree with me about this, but there's something about that book where there's this disorientingness of the house itself, like the structure of the house. And I feel like The Only One Left also has that, where the house itself, the physical house, is disorienting. And so you don't really know what's real and what's not. And yeah, it was great. I loved it. And yeah, so right now I'm reading The Other Sangu Mandana, and I'm also finally reading Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Classic. Everybody says it's like great gothic fiction, and so that's what I have on Kindle right now to try it out. And so far I'm liking it. I'm not very far in. I keep falling asleep because I read in, like I said, in the nighttime with the Kindle. Yeah, and I have like a whole slew of books to read. I decided that September is going to be cozy month, like reading cozy books, and then I'm saving spooky books for October. And I'm really excited about it. I feel like I'm just super into reading right now. Yeah, all my hobbies kind of come and go. Knitting always stays, but then spinning or reading, they all kind of just come and go. But other than that, that's all I have for you today. Oh my gosh, we're at 50 minutes. This is a long one. Hopefully I can edit it down a little bit so it's not too long. I will, like I said, I have some videos coming up. I'm hoping my next one after this will be a cozy stay home farm vlog, and you guys can see a little bit more of like what my days look like and what my days are like when Caleb is not here to help me. And then I'm also planning a video. We filmed some of it, but it's like cozy fall activities. So there'll be pumpkin picking, maybe some baking, that sort of thing. And then, yeah, I don't know, then we're into like Rhinebeck content, which is super exciting. There will definitely be a podcast episode before I go to Rhinebeck. I think that's how I think the schedule works out that way. For right now, I have enough videos that I'll be posting weekly now. I think the next podcast episode is going to be on October 10th. So hopefully my sweaters will be done, and I'll share some like Rhinebeck wish list and plans and all that. And then after that, it will be recap time, and then it's just crazy. Time goes so fast. I think that's it. That's all I have right now. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and watching with me. I will get back to comments soon if I haven't already. And yeah, let me know about your Rhinebeck plans. How's it going? Do you need like some buddy support? Because I feel like I do. If you are looking to follow me elsewhere, I am on Instagram. I'm on Ravelry, I'm on Goodreads, and all of my links are always linked in the description, so have a little looky there if you're looking for something. If I miss something, don't hesitate to comment or shoot me a message asking about something. And yeah, that's all for today. Thank you again for joining me, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.